To all of you dreaming of moving to Japan, are you feeling a bit anxious? Maybe you're thinking, I really want to live in Japan, but the paperwork looks so intimidating. But here is some exciting news to kick things off. The number of foreigners living in Japan is actually hitting record highs right now. In fact, by the end of 2023, that number reached a staggering 3.41 million people. What this means is that Japan has truly become a land of opportunity. So, in today's video, I'm bringing you the ultimate guide to moving to Japan. We're going to cover everything from how to create your initial plan and the secrets of the visa process, to the reality of building your life foundation once you actually land. If you stick around until the very end, I promise the path to your new life in Japan will look much clearer and brighter. Alright, let's jump right into it. First, let me give you a quick rundown of what's happening in Japan right now. Honestly, the growth is incredible. Over the last decade, the number of foreign residents in Japan has been climbing steadily year after year. To put it into perspective, back in 2013, there were about 2.93 million foreign residents. Fast forward to 2023, and we've officially broken past the 3.4 million mark. Now, you might be wondering, why is the number growing so fast? Well, the main reason is that Japan is currently facing a very serious labor shortage. With an aging population and a declining birth rate, Japanese society is reaching a point where it sincerely needs new ideas, fresh sensibilities, and a robust workforce. In other words, they need people exactly like you to help keep the country moving forward. Because of this need, the government has introduced new systems like the Specified Skilled Worker Visa, which has dramatically expanded the opportunities for people to come here and work. That is exactly why, if you're seriously considering moving to Japan, right now is actually a fantastic, prime timing to make your move. Alright, once you've made the big decision to move to Japan, it's time to get into the nitty-gritty of preparation. I want to share 3 essential points for your pre-departure mission. These are the foundations of a successful move. Number 1, setting your purpose. You need to be crystal clear with yourself about why you are going to Japan. This is crucial because if your purpose changes, everything else where you live, your monthly budget, and most importantly, the type of visa you need will change along with it. Number 2, the visa. There's one specific term I want you to memorize right now. It's the Certificate of Eligibility. Basically, the standard flow is that you need to obtain this Certificate of Eligibility before you even head to Japan, and then you use it to apply for your actual visa at an embassy. If you're coming for work, you'll need your employment contract. If you're coming as a student, you'll need your official certificate of admission. Number 3, your belongings. You really only need the bare minimum when it comes to clothes and daily necessities, because you can find high-quality, affordable stuff everywhere in Japan once you arrive. However, please make sure you pack your official government documents from back home, like your graduation certificates or birth certificates. Once you finally touch down in Japan, the next phase is building the foundation of your daily life. I'll explain the steps in the exact order you should do them. Step 1. Resident registration. You need to go to the local municipal office of the area where you'll be living and register your address. This is non-negotiable. If you don't do this, you won't be able to join the national health insurance system, and you won't be able to access any basic public services. It's the very first hurdle. Once your registration is processed, you'll be issued a 12-digit number called You're My Number. This is a super important identification number used for taxes and social security in Japan. Step 2. Opening a bank account and signing a mobile phone contract. Without a Japanese bank account, you won't be able to receive your salary, and paying your rent will become a huge headache to open an account. You'll usually need your certificate of residence and your passport. These days, there are more and more online inly banks that are quite friendly to foreign residents, so definitely look around for one that suits your needs. Step 3. Setting up your utilities, electricity, gas, and water. If you forget this, you'll find yourself in a pitch-black room at night, washing your face with freezing cold water. Between that and buying furniture or appliances, the pro tip here is to budget a bit more money than you think you'll need. Once your life has settled down a bit, it's finally time to focus on enriching your daily experience and finding work. If you're looking for a job in Japan, I highly recommend making full use of the major job search websites and recruitment agencies that specifically specialize in helping foreign professionals. One thing to keep in mind is that the way you write your resume and your overall manners are incredibly important in the Japanese job hunt. In interviews specifically, people will be looking closely at your punctuality and your use of polite language. When you're ready to sign an employment contract, don't just look at the base salary. Make sure to check the details on overtime pay, holidays, and employee benefits. Contracts in Japanese can be very difficult to read, but it is so important to ask questions until you fully understand every single point. Moving on to daily life, the most important key point in Japanese culture is the spirit of harmony with those around you. This shows up in small things, like giving a proper greeting or strictly following the rules for sorting your trash. It might feel a bit overwhelming or confusing at first, but don't worry, just observe how the Japanese people around you act, and you'll gradually get the hang of it. Also, it's important to know that everyone living in Japan is required by law to join a health insurance plan. Thanks to this system, you generally only have to pay 30% of your medical bills at the hospital. Finally, for those of you who fall in love with the country and think, I want to stay here forever, I want to share 4 key points regarding long-term residency and truly settling down in Japan. Point number 1, learning about permanent residency. If you're staying long-term, getting PR becomes the ultimate goal. Generally, the requirement is that you've lived in Japan for 10 years or more, you have a stable income, and you've been diligent about paying your taxes and pension. Interestingly, there are now systems for highly skilled professionals that allow you to apply for permanent residency in a much shorter time, so definitely check if you qualify. Point number 2, naturalization. If you reach a point where you feel you want to truly become a member of Japanese society by becoming a citizen, naturalization is an option. Point number 3, participating in the local community. To make your life in Japan even more fulfilling, I really recommend getting involved in your neighborhood. If you go to local neighborhood association events or participate in volunteer work, you'll deepen your bonds with the locals. Point number 4, getting creative with your lifestyle. This can range from money-saving hacks, like hitting the supermarket during time sales for discounts, to focusing on your career by getting professional certifications. So, what did you think of today's Japan migration roadmap? Let's do a quick recap of everything we covered. First, remember that right now is a massive window of opportunity because the number of foreign residents is at an all-time high. Second, the key to success is your pre-departure work, picking the right visa and having a concrete life plan. Third, once you land, prioritize your resident registration and my number card at the city hall. Fourth, get your bank account and phone set up as soon as possible to solidify your foundation. Finally, if you want to stay long-term, focus on your health insurance and building a social circle in your community so you feel at home. I know the preparation can feel overwhelming, but if you just take it one step at a time, the path will definitely open up for you. You've got this. On mooovin, you can search for apartments in Japan from anywhere in the world. We offer support in Japanese, English, Chinese, and Vietnamese. So be sure to check out our official website from the link in the description. If you thought this video was helpful or interesting, please subscribe and hit the like button. Well then, see you in the next video. I'm cheering with all my heart for your happy life in Japan. Bye bye.